Hey Mark, how you doing,
How you
man?
doing? Good. Yourself?
Good, good, good. Happy Sunday.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, yeah. So how's the weather out there in Burlington, Ontario?
Not bad. Warm today finally. So now, yeah, we're up to the plus when it's 5 degrees, and it's the good thing, it's been cold.
Yeah, that's like spring weather for us in the wintertime, like in Canada, as we know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no, awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time on your busy Sunday, man. I know you're a busy man and everything like that. So I just wanted to say thanks for, taking the time to document your results in the program and discuss a few things. So why don't we just get into it here? So
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. So where were you at, before you came into the program, would you say? Like what was kind of like going on there beforehand?
I've been someone who's exercised, gone back and forth my entire life. Former like competitive athlete. Current still do a lot of things currently. But I found that much like everyone else through COVID, things start falling apart. The gym I'd gone to had closed down, the leagues that I played in closed down. Um, and then and a bunch of life changes as well, going from marriage to not being married and balancing children and a career on your own. It gets tough. So anyway, long story short, exercise went out the window for the most part. Eating habits bad, and it was after last summer. I just looked at myself, just wasn't happy. I put on far too much weight. I think I'd put on at least 20 to 30 pounds.
Wow.
Um, you know, where I didn't want to be, and looking for different solutions. And I tried everything, obviously. Well, no, but I've tried a lot of different things. I think much like other people, from keto to paleo to intermittent fasting to all the clubs from F45s to you name it. I done it all in an attempt to try to um, buy into something, or at least become something that becomes habitual, to help me get back into it. But I needed a boost. So anyway, lo and behold, I saw your advertisement there on Instagram and reached out to you. I think I reached out to you earlier, um, last spring, I want to say. I can't remember what, but I
Um,
remember, I think it was before, because I knew the summer I was going to be gone. And then to your credit, that's the one thing I will give you is that um, I had messaged you, you'd messaged back right then. I want to say it was May. And you said reach out. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be, I think I'm going to be gone a lot of July. I was going through a lot of stuff family wise. I think I'm going to be gone a lot. And to be honest with you, I'm like, all right, I tried. That was my attempt, and I figured that was the last I'd hear from you. And lo and behold, you messaged in July, which was a surprise, pleasant surprise. I'm like, okay, this guy's serious. He's following up. And then again, I had a stint. I think I touched base with you then. I said August. I'm going to be gone again. Whole bunch of trips and everything. I'll be back at the end of August. And again, I thought, man, enjoying life. This guy's not going to follow up a second time or third time, and you did. So I thought, okay, you did, and to me that meant something. Okay, this guy's like, he's invested in what he's doing. He wants to help people, and he's committed to following up on things. I thought that follow-up was critical to me. I needed an accountability piece. And yeah, so I think it was end of last August that we finally touched base and sat down and had that initial conversation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, and you did try many common things that a lot of people did that you mentioned there, and were getting frustrated because you had no luck with it before. So
Yeah,
what were some of the things that like we helped you implement to get the ball rolling?
I think from my perspective, a lot of different things. Like you said this to me, I had to have a willingness to want to change, right? So I think there was one big component. I was ready to do the change. One big thing you had shown me, and I got down to it, was just looking at what I could eat in a day and what that meant for me. And our plan, or what I wanted to do, was lose 20 to 30 pounds by Christmas, or end of December. So that gave us 4 months. And what did that mean in terms of calorie deficit? And so you weren't giving me necessarily, this is what you got to eat every day. You gave me a huge broad menu, which was fantastic. And then said, okay, now you've got to keep it to 2,100 calories. That's where we need to do. Here's going to be your proteins. And so downloading a few apps, the Universal Body app that you had sent me, plus what the other nutrition tracker. I'm gonna say 𝒕𝒓𝒏𝒈.
You were doing 𝒕𝒓𝒏𝒈.
Yeah. So that I found great too, to supplement that. So looking at foods and everything like that, and basically parsed down everything you'd sent me in terms of the menu, all those different items. And I started, for me, I just wanted something simple and I could eat the same thing every day and be happy with that. So I looked at, okay, here's what this many calories look like, able to like measure stuff too. Like, so we got that little scale and everything like that. And I didn't want to get to, and you're good with this as well, didn't want to get to, where I was measuring everything I was doing. I didn't want to go out to restaurants and have to measure and everything like that. And I liked that you said, okay, you got to keep it this way. If you go out and you have a couple beers, we'll know that the next day or leading up to that, you just got to be conscious of that. And it's not going to throw the whole thing off. So that helped. In the workouts, initially, you're good at adapting the workouts to me having been someone who worked out a lot before. So I'm familiar with the exercises, but also knowing I was almost starting from scratch again in terms of physical strength. I had lost a lot. And then obviously it's some injuries along the way, working around that, which was great. So that was helpful.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And what were some of the results, that we helped you with?
Big thing. I like it's hard to see, like, as you know, the pictures are a big thing. And knowing that you're logging those in and the weight and the scale and everything like that. And I think obviously the scale can be a misnomer, because from just a regular scale, you don't know muscle density versus fat weight and everything like that. It's just a number. But the pictures were very telling, because you could look through and track and see the difference in yourself throughout that. It's a scary thing to do, because you look at those and you're like, that's what gets you. You know what I mean? You look at those, I'm like, I don't want to look like this, nor do I want to show people. And it's not like I'm publicizing it for the world, but even you, virtually a perfect stranger, just taking those pictures and sending it off to someone, it's tough. And it's telling. But then looking through that progress, I like to see, I'm like, oh yeah, even though maybe the scale didn't change as dramatically at times, I look at my physique and go, okay, you know what? Now my shoulders are a bit broader, my legs are a little bit more defined, like weight is shifting from fat to muscle, not literally but figuratively, like that shape of your body's changing, right? So that definitely became something where I was like, okay, I can see that. It's a nice little piece to have, and those check-ins. And I liked knowing I had to check in with things. That accountability piece is something I needed, right?
Right. Yeah, I remember. And so how much weight did you actually lose?
So by the time we checked in the end of December, I lost 25 pounds. So right on target to sort of where I want to go. I was like basically pushing 250. I was actually probably a couple weeks before I spoke to you at the end of August. I was about 252, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And by end of December, actually, I think the beginning of December, I actually hit that goal. Beginning of December, I hit 225. So
Wow.
down those 25 pounds. It was great. It was neat to see people had seen it around me in my workplace and everything like that. I actually ran into someone recently who hadn't seen me since September, and they're like, "Holy crap, what happened?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I didn't think anything of it. And she's like, "You look incredibly, like you've lost a ton of weight." And I didn't realize that difference, because again, you see yourself every day. You don't see those like tiny little incremental losses. But it's helped me now gauge. Like I went from I was weighing everything pretty diligently, but now I have a pretty good sense of what a portion is, what I should be looking at in terms of a meal. And even when I go to a restaurant now, because most restaurants now are really key with their calorie counts and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I can get a good idea going. And I know, okay, I'm taking the kids out tonight for dinner. Here's how I'm gonna plan my day. Here's my normal post-workout protein shake. I've got this many calories. Okay, but maybe lunch today is a different, like I'm gonna load up more greens and everything like that. Maybe like it'll fill me, but not as calorie dense, and save some of those calories so that I can have a different sort of meal at the end of the night. And it's been freeing in some ways to keep in that. And again, biggest thing, knowing that, okay, if I have a day out and you're going out with the guys and it's beers and wings or whatever like that, you're like, okay, I'm going to enjoy a night, but then I'm also going to make sure the rest of the other like 90% of what I do is really good exercise, good food, and stay on top of things.
That's awesome, dude. And the fact that you were able to learn that and sustain that is like, something you're gonna maintain for life now because you
Yeah.
have it now. So that's awesome. You're able to enjoy yourself and stay on track at the same time. Awesome. So congrats to on your success with that. That's awesome,
Thank
dude.
you. Thank
So
you.
what would you tell someone who is like sitting on the fence about the program or who is still kind of deciding about joining the program?
I think if you're deciding, if you don't have the tool like this, like you yourself, Mike, you're great at giving those details. You're very, you're open and honest about what needs to be done. I think you're great at letting someone know how you're going to work around some of the obstacles they may have. I think people's hesitation, what do you want to invest in? I think we often look at, and I tell this to a lot of people, it's easy for us to invest in things like houses, put your money in stocks and portfolios, and you're waiting for this big retirement payout someday. And rarely do we invest in ourselves. We don't put the time and energy. And I'm thinking to myself, I get 24 hours during a day and I can invest an hour in myself. Holy crap. The dividends are the fact that I'm going to play with my kids longer. I'm going to live longer. I'm going to be able to recover from a potential injury or avoid injury. And I feel way better. Like my work, for me personally, is like that. Those workouts in the morning are key. Gets my day going. But if you're thinking about making the change, why wait another day? We often wait for the next Monday, the first of the month, January 1st. It's always somewhere else. And if you desire to make that change, do it now. Like, get the ball rolling, start it, right? And when it's crappy, which it will be in those first few weeks, you're like, this sucks. I'm craving the stuff. I'm craving the sugars. I want that drink. I want this stuff. I'm sore. Knowing that you can, yeah, Mike, this sucks. Can we switch things up? Can I try something else? Can we? Yeah. And you were really good at varying things when I needed to switch up my workouts due to injury and things like that. So we switch it up pretty quick. And eventually it becomes habitual. You wait that tradition, like what everyone science tells you, 6 to 8 weeks, and it becomes habitual. And yeah, it's what you do. You start getting into it, right? So yeah, if you're thinking about it and you want to make that change, put that time in now. The dividends are huge, and you'll know that one day when you're sitting around going, yeah, I'm 50 years old, I'm 60 years old, I'm 70 years old, I'm still going. And that's because I invested when I was 20, 30, 40. Yeah.
Nice. No, that's awesome, man. And thank you for that and all of your hard work, Mark,
No
that you
problem.
did, man. No, you deserve it, man. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
And
that.
yeah. So yeah, we'll leave it there today. I think that's, fantastic, all the success you've had. And again,
Thanks.
just want to extend my gratitude for, coming out today and talking a little bit about your results and your experience. So yeah, we'll wrap that up today. Again, thank you very much, Mark. And
No.
yeah, man, hope you have a great Sunday.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
All right, bye.